Hello, everybody. This is Pamela. I thought that I'm gonna start doing with story time. I've been seeing it on YouTube and Facebook, but I've been trying to figure out how and what and when to say it. So I came to the conclusion that you just pick up your video and you start telling the story. My story is going to be a short story, and it's going to be about the days that I remember when my ancestral abuse started taking place. I was about 7 years old, and I can remember a certain party always wanting to touch me. And I didn't understand what was going on because I was just a little girl. But I can recall having problems at school, and my aunt was a school teacher, and my grandmother was just a very wise woman. So they knew that it had to be something going on with me because I was always acting out. And basically, I was just a nice little girl. So what had happened is that I continued to act out during some of my grade school years. My aunt, being a school teacher, figured out something's not right. Something must be wrong at home. They were just trying to put it together. I was the firstborn, and you know how they are with the firstborn. You're watch and study just about because you're brand new to everybody. You're brand new to the family. And so, anyway, that's that part of my story. My abuse took place around the age of 7. There is a little picture of me, and I do talk about it briefly. Like I said, I didn't understand what was going on with me. All I knew is that I was being touched inappropriately at certain times, and I just knew that it was scary. And what happens, I believe, when you're a child and when you start becoming abused on a regular basis, it becomes blocked, and you only remember certain phases. As you grow older, it'll pop up, a memory will pop up. And that's what started happening to me. Memories would pop up. I had suppressed. But then, like I said, as I got a little older, memories started popping up. And so I still didn't quite know what was going on. Matter of fact, it wasn't until after I had got into high school that I figured out what this person was doing was wrong. And so I just continued to act out. My aunt and my grandmother tried to protect me the best way they could. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, a lot of time. I lived with her most of the time, but I didn't know why. I just knew it was fun. I enjoyed it. I had great grandparents. We would go fishing. Each one of us kids had our own fishing pole. They were from down south. My grandfather used to know, he knew how to make homemade wine from the grapes in his backyard. I remember all those. I didn't even remember, we used to walk. My siblings and I used to walk to my grandparents' house when we were little. I have my eyes closed so I can picture. We used to walk to my grandparents' house when we were little, and that was a good little walk. But we learned a way. We learned a new way how to get there faster, and I can just remember it was just a lot of fun, just a lot of fun. And so life goes on. I continue to grow up. I continued to go to elementary school, where I started having problems, and eventually I had to transfer and go to another form of school. And this other school that I had to go to was for people that had issues, because remember, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They couldn't figure out why I was acting up. Back in the day, I'm in my 60s, so back in the day, they didn't have all these programs that could help parents, or have all these type of counselors that can help parents. If your child acts up, they went to these special schools, or you just got treated differently. So fortunately, where I lived at, they had the girls club. I was involved with the local park recreational type things. I used to run track. I used to get ribbons. I remember those are all my good memories as that little girl. That's right. Those were my good memories. And then I could remember days sitting on my mother's porch, just crying and not knowing why. I had to be about 6 or 7 years old. I could just remember crying and I didn't know why. I could remember being sad, but I didn't know why. So, and once again, these are going to be stories, short stories. This is the beginning of my story. Maybe someone else can identify with my childhood story. And then you have your teenage life. And then you have your first boyfriend type stuff. And then you go into your marriage. And then you have your own family. When you've been a victim of incest, your life is like a maze, and it's always scrambled up with different stuff. And a lot of times memories get suppressed because sometimes those bad memories will pop up with the good memories. And anybody out there is listening to this, they know exactly what I am talking about. That's why I'm sharing. It took a lot for me to do this, but then on the other hand, I suffered so emotionally and I suffered so quietly until I said, nobody else should have to go through this. What can I do to help other women and men that are going through something like I'm going through? And so I said, well, I might as well just share my story. I don't know. My mother doesn't really know about it. My siblings aren't really into my social media activities, so they may not even never hear these stories. I may not never meet any of you. You just see pictures of me, my granddaughter, the dog, and maybe the kid, my daughter. So, but I'm not just, I don't have a lot of exposure on my personal life. So this for me is just perfect. And I believe that the people that are hearing this little short story will understand why I'm doing it this way. So I'm going to cut this story. We're going to leave it off as during my elementary years. That's what I'm talking about now. And then we'll go into another part of another age difference. And then you guys, whoever has gone through this, can follow along with me and know that you're not alone. You have a friend out here. You can reach me through Messenger, or I'm going to be setting up a Zoom. And so you can reach me that way. And now I work alone, so I don't always get back to you as quickly as I would like to, but I will get back. Those that will be participating in the group, you guys could always ask me questions or whatever during group session. So, and I've got plans too. There's things that people I want to introduce to the group, and you know how things happen and grow. So I'm hoping I'm starting something that's positive. Of course, there's always going to be haters and people that are going to have negative things to say, but just don't pay them no attention. God has impressed with me upon my heart to share my story, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I think that I'm doing it appropriately, where I'm not harming anybody. I'm not involving anybody else. We're just talking about me. So I want you guys to have a wonderful evening. It's raining up here in Washington State. I feel really good talking about my little story right now. I probably would like to revise it, but I think I'm just going to keep things like they are, because when they flow out naturally, people can really relate, and people know when you're being fakey. People know when you're telling lies, and people know when you're trying to cover up the funk. And I'm just not good at any of it. So I'm going to stop it here and then pick it up. I'll figure out how often I want to talk about it as the weeks and days progress. So I hope you guys, those of you that are listening to my story, can understand. I hope that I'm able to help somebody else maybe participate and get involved. That's what God sent me here to do, is to help people to participate and get involved. That's all. It's not about money. It's not about any of that kind of stuff. It's an emotional thing. And I'm at the age now where women do start sharing. I'm in my 60s, and so I'm not getting any younger. So this is a perfect age for me to do this. So, okay, talk to you guys later. I'm hungry. I'm going to go fix some spaghetti. Yeah, I'm going to go fix me some spaghetti. I'm a little tired today because I be up late working on stuff. But I know I should be having myself sleep. You know, I'm a senior. I'm not supposed to be up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning working on stuff. But it's a habit. I'm a night owl. So anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. This is the first 10 minutes or so I've had, good minutes that I've had to be able to communicate in a long time. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.